Good evening, everyone. I'm Charu Siklani, and I'm so happy to welcome you all for this exciting edition of Research Pe Charcha, organized by Thinks and proudly supported by MSME Government of India. Tonight, we are diving into creative world of 3D design with our hands-on training modeling workshop on Blender. Whether you are completely new to Blender or already dabbling into 3D, you are in the right place. And guiding us today is the brilliant Dr. Rishi Ranjan Kumar, Assistant Professor from Department of Physics at KR Mangalam University. He is known for making tech tools like Blender feel simple, practical, and actually fun to use. Here's a few quick reminders before we begin. This is a hands-on workshop, so make sure that Blender is already installed in your system. If you haven't downloaded it, go and download it right now. Second, stay connected, make sure internet is stable and don't miss any step in order to get better understanding of it. Third, keep a notebook or notes app ready in order to take notes within the sessions. Okay, and keep your questions with you. At the end of the session, we'll be taking Q&A. So, without further ado, we welcome you, sir. The stage is all yours.
Okay, thank you so much, Charu, for giving me a very beautiful introduction about myself. So now with this, I would like to share my screen, and please interrupt me in between if anyone or of you faces any problem. And also do let me know like if you can see my screen or not. Okay, so Charu, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible
Okay.
and it's visible as well.
Okay. So, first of all, thank you so much, Thinks for giving me this opportunity to present my talk. Okay, and also now I welcome all the participants for the first session of Research Pe Charcha. So, let me introduce myself, Dr. Rishi Ranjan Kumar. I'm an assistant professor in physics at KR Mangalam University, Gurugram. And before joining this university, I did my PhD from National Tsinghua University, Taiwan. And after that, I did my postdoctoral in physics from National Yang Cheng, Chaotong University, Taiwan. So maybe you can see the background of my introductory slide. You can see a very beautiful animation. Okay, so this is made purely from the Blender. I didn't do, but someone from the Blender community uploaded on the website. But you can see the clarity of this beautiful animation and the crispness of this animation. And I think the image quality and everything looks so beautiful. Okay, so this is the best you can do from the Blender. And apart from this, there are many other things which we can do in the Blender. So first, I will start by giving a brief introduction about the Blender, and then secondly, I will show you some of the comparison between other softwares which are generally in the market, which are used to do the similar thing. Okay, next I will give you some motivation and some of the examples which can be done by using the Blender software. And for this, we can take you to the user interface of the Blender and then the basic navigation. And finally, we will learn how to export those Blender files. So first, why we need to choose the Blender? So firstly, it is a free and open source software. So this particular software requires no license fees. So any one of you can download this software for free, and you will get all the updates at regular interval. Okay, so everything is free. And also it is accessible for everyone, including the students or the researchers or anyone. Okay, so this is
Sorry to
open.
interrupt you, sir. Sorry to interrupt you in between.
Okay,
The link which you shared on WhatsApp, the Blender link,
okay,
it is not showing free of cost. It is asking for some donation, I think. I was
okay.
doing it.
Wait,
It
wait,
is
wait.
showing some
Okay,
donation.
okay, okay. Thank you for. Maybe I can take you to my Google Chrome, and then
Yes.
so um, this is the first link which you can click, and then you can directly go to the Blender. Okay, and after this, you can see this is optional, it is not compulsory. So you can see the downloading link is automatically available. Okay, I didn't do anything. So the donation is not compulsory. Okay, so
Okay.
you don't need to click on the donation thing. It's up to you actually. Okay, so after this, just click on save, and then the Blender will be downloaded. Okay, so I will take you to all these steps. Maybe before, let me finish my presentation. Okay, and after this, we can take you to the software part. Okay, so thank you so much. Okay, and the first thing is that it is a free and open source software. Secondly, it is a very powerful visualization tool. So with this tool, you can convert almost all the complex scientific data into a 3D animation or models. Third thing is uh, actually, I think many of you knows about the 3D printing, right? So with the Blender software, you can export your models to directly to the 3D printing software. So whatever you draw in the Blender, you can directly export that file into a 3D printing file. So you don't need to do anything. Just save that particular file in .stl format. With that format, you can use any of the 3D printing software, and you can take the printout in a 3D way. Next is uh, it supports scientific data formats. So, and as I mentioned to you, you can easily import or export the .csv file, like the Excel file, and the csv file, .stl file, or the .obj file, like the origin file. Next, you can do the Python scripting also for the automation, and this is an all-in-one software. So with this, what you can do is you can do the modeling, you can do the texturing, you can do the rendering, you can do the animation, and you can do the video editing also with this software. And this is a cross-disciplinary use, like researchers from any discipline can use this software for their 3D designing. And it has a very large active community, like uh, the video tutorials are freely available on the website, and whatever uh, uh, plugins or forums are there, it is all available for free. So it has a very large active community. And finally, you can produce high quality outputs which are suitable for research papers, and with this, you can produce high quality publication ready images and the videos. And now, as I've told you, there are apart from Blender, there are two more software. First is the Maya, and the next software is the 3ds Max. So these three softwares are generally used for making the 3D designing and the modeling, and also for the scientific illustration. Now let me tell you the differences between all these three. So uh, since I mentioned you, Blender is free and open source, but whereas Maya and 3ds Max are all paid and are subscription based. But I think it is mostly free for the students. But not only students will use it, it is free for all the people and the researcher. So I generally recommend the Blender software for everyone. And now Blender has a very large open source community and active development, and lots of free plugins and scripts are available. Whereas Maya and 3ds Max are mostly used for the industry support, and also the 3ds Max is generally used for the architecture visualization. But for the science people, I think there are very few resources in the 3ds Max. And the third point is, like, for the Blender, it is an excellent software for scientific visualization. It supports Python scripting, easy integration with scientific data formats like .obj file, .csv file. It can support all these things. But whereas Maya and the 3ds Max, it is limited to scientific visualization. Okay, so I recommend everyone to use the Blender. Now let's talk about using the Blender in from the different fields. So like you can see from this image, Blender can be used to make the viruses, the anatomy of the human structure, the cells and organelles. You can draw animals also, you can make the proteins, you can make the equipments. So As you can see, this is a multidisciplinary field where Blender can be used in almost all the field. The only thing required is your creativity. So before going to the motivation, I just want to uh, show you. So I think everyone is familiar with the one-dimensional, two-dimensional, or three-dimensional object. If not, let me show you one thing. So if we just draw a single line, okay, okay, it is one-dimensional object because you can only see one dimension. Now, if you draw a square, rectangle, circle, then it corresponds to a three-dimensional object. Okay, so sorry, two-dimensional object. And now, if you draw a cube, so if you draw a cube, so you are able to see the third dimension also. So in the one dimensional object, you can only see the one axis. In the two dimensional object, you can see the x axis and the y axis. In the three dimensional object, you can see the x axis, y axis, and the z axis. So this is 3D object. So this is a 3D object, this is a 2D object, and this is a 1D object. 1D not object, 1D, that's it, 1D. Okay, so now let's now go to the motivation part. Why we need to use the Blender. So now let's suppose we are all researchers. Okay, there is a researcher in ourselves all the time. So this is a general image of your lab setup. So let's suppose this is a gas sensing setup in one of the lab. Okay, so in the okay, so you can see this is the gas inlet system where the gas will go inside the chamber. This is a computer, okay, and this is a gas sensing chamber where you will put your sample and the gases inside. And this is a heater power supply, okay, and then this is a gas cylinder, and this is the source measurement unit, okay, and this is your complete room. So this is one of the image. Okay, so but now for the research community or for other people, sometimes you don't want to disclose your original image. So what you will do, you will prepare a schematics. Okay, now this is one of the schematics for the gas sensing system, which I previously described in my previous slide. So here you can see we have the gas cylinder, two gas cylinders, and these are all going to the chamber. So in this direction, and this gas also is going into this direction. Okay, and this is the MFC which control the gases flow, and this is a mixer. Okay, so and this is a test chamber, and this is your data acquisition or a computer system, and this is your exhaust pipe. Okay, so you can see like this is all black and white image which can be drawn maybe within an hour. Okay, like less than an hour you can easily draw this image, and everyone can draw this image. Okay, now I will take you to the next image. Okay, now you can see this image. Now what they did is they just took a picture from the Google, okay, and then they copy pasted here. This is your computer, and this is your source meter, this is your chamber, okay, and this is are your gas cylinders, okay, and this is your again the controllers which controls the gases. Now with this image, you can see that this is also not very difficult schematics to draw. Okay, like they just use some random objects from the PowerPoint, very basic, simple objects. Like you can see, this is just a very, very basic cylinder. And these are two lines. That's it. Okay, so creating this image won't take much time. I assume like less than an hour or maybe 45 minutes, you can draw this image. Okay, but still not very attractive, but still better than the previous image. Okay, so this is also one of the thing. Now, why we need, because these is very simple image. For this you don't need the blender, and also I also believe like this image won't look that much beautiful and very very simple to draw in any software. Okay, now comes the blender. Now you can see the same thing which is drawn in a blender software. Now you can see again, this is a sensing chamber. Okay, so all this thing is made in Blender software. So this is your uh, air buffer chamber, this is your sample chamber, okay, this is your sensing chamber, this is your pump to exhaust the gas, and you can see they have mentioned the direction of flow also. The gas is coming in this direction, and then after mixing it is going into this direction. So you can see how crisp this image is and how beautiful this image is. They are showing the shadow also. So now this image takes roughly, I think making this image will take roughly more than around uh, 2 to 3 hours. Okay, but this quality of image and the previous quality of image, there is a vast difference between these two images. Now you can see why we need to use the blender. These are all simple things, by the way, to make in the blender. Okay, but the thinking part, the process part, and how you keep the objects in different places, that is your creativity. Otherwise, it's all very simple thing. This is just a cube. This is just a cylinder. Okay, this is also a cylinder. This is also a cylinder. This is a cube. Okay, this is a cylinder, a cube, cylinder. So only two objects. They made a very beautiful schematics of their gas sensing system. Okay, and all these works are published in different journals. Okay, this is what I can say is a intermediate level or the maybe basic level. Now, after gaining lots of experience in Blender, okay, after gaining lots of experience in Blender, after learning everything, finally this is another image which you can draw in the Blender. This is a professional image made by a very professional researcher. Of course, only researcher can make these things because they have all the mindset, they have all the thoughts, and they only know what's happening inside their system. Now you can see this quality of image and the previous quality of image. They both are made in Blender software, but now like you can see they have mentioned the atoms also inside. The gas molecules also it is inside. And you can see this is a glass actually. Okay, this is not a real image. This is a image made in Blender software. So all these inlets, it looks very original. Okay, but all this is made or prepared in the Blender software only. Okay, and this paper and this work is published in Nature Journal. I think everyone knows about Nature Journal. Okay, so the better you learn about the software, the more quality of image you can produce, and the better journals you can target. Okay, so it all depends upon your creativity and lots of time. You have to put actually lots of time in creating one image. Okay, so this image you can see just maybe 5 to 10 minutes. This another half an hour. This will take roughly maybe once you get the experience, maybe 5 hours or less than 5 hours. But this image will take roughly uh, maybe maybe 3 or 4 days. Okay, once you get all the experience. So here you can see they have mentioned the PCB also, and they have designed a microcontroller also with all the pins. So these are like very professional image, and this is published in the Nature Journal. So now you can imagine if your work is really good, then try to focus on the high impact journals by creating these images. So sometimes creating these images, these figures in Blender software, you can gain actually lots of experience in the research field, and also you can draw very good things in the Blender software. Now, with the Blender software, you can draw figures, you can create a cover art, and also you can create the graphical abstracts. So figures, I think everyone know what figures are. Cover art is maybe whenever you go to the journal page, you can see like for every volume they are releasing cover art. So I will show you some of the examples of cover art also. And then the graphical abstract. This is the first thing which all the reviewers and all the authors will see the thing. Like so, these all three things can be done from the Blender software. So these are images which are taken from the Google. You can see this image, this image, this image. This is a coronavirus. Okay, and this is like spiral structure. Okay, this is a plane, and then this is another DNA pattern. Like lots of things, lots of structures. You can see this is a sphere, hollow sphere, and then there are nanoparticles on top. And this is also a sphere, but it has some sheets, and this is a sheet, okay, which I think you can see it is a carbon-based film. Okay, and this is of course C16. Okay, so all these things which can be drawn into the Blender software. Now these are few of the examples of the cover art. So you can see this is ACS sensors. Okay, from the ACS, this journal is very good. So this is ACS sensors, and you can see the cover art. Everything like except the ACS sensors and these things. Okay, just remove this part. All other things are made in the Blender software. Okay, there are certain components, there are certain parts which are restacked and then drawn into the Blender software. Okay, so if you learn Blender very well, then these are the things which will be published, and this is an achievement by the way. So if you have your own cover art, okay, so this is an achievement for a lifetime actually. And this is advanced science journal. Okay, the impact factor is more than 15, and this is advanced functional materials. So the impact factor for this is more than I think 28 or 29. So now you can see all these images are drawn in the Blender software. Okay, so these are all corresponds to the cover art. Now there are certain platforms or certain places where you can design your own cover art, because if you don't know how to draw from the Blender and you don't want to waste your time in drawing from the Blender, then this is one of the website where you can draw the cover art. So you can see this is the website where what they say, they scientific journal cover design services. Okay, so actually you can design all the cover from this by utilizing their service. So what you have to do is you just need to draw in a piece of paper like this, and whatever is your idea. Okay, because of course idea will be yours, but they will draw in your behalf, and then they will give you the bill, and then you have to pay. Okay, so this is your 3D cube. Okay, and then these are some of the particles, and then they have mentioned everything. Like you can see, background also they mentioned cell should be there like this, and then everything they have mentioned. Okay, what exactly they want, and then the signal should be like this, and signal is going in the away direction. Okay, now if you they only this services okay want you to give the information like this, and after this they will help you make a image like this. Okay, so this is the final form. Okay, like of course they will give you for some proofreading also. So this is the final form, this which was accepted. Okay, now doing this, it will charge you more than, like you can see, around 400 US dollars. So now 400 into 80 is roughly more than 40,000 rupees for one cover art. So now you can imagine this is a very good business also. So if you are able to learn Blender, okay, like invest some good amount of time to learn the Blender, everything from the Blender, then you can easily save your $40,000, or you can apply to this, and then you can also draw these kind of things from the Blender software. Okay, so this is the great advantage of using Blender, and of course, like if you know everything, then it's good for you, good for the research. Okay, now these are some of the cheat sheet for beginners, which I will share in the WhatsApp group. So there are actually lots of shortcut commands which are available in the Blender. So uh, there are actually lots. Like if you become expertise, then like for the G, you have to use for moving the object, you have to use G. For rotating the object, you have to use R. I will show you the demonstration. I will share this cheat sheet or the maybe shortcut for using the Blender. Now, okay, so now these are some of my published work where I have used the Blender software to create some 3D structures or to create some figures for my papers, and all these papers are published in very good journals. So uh, here you can see this is nanorods. Okay, so like on the substrate. Okay, on the substrate I have grown some zinc oxide nanorods. Okay, and then I did some process, and then inside a beaker, inside a box, I use some solution, and then I use some UV light. Okay, and this after treating, then this will become copper oxide nanocluster on top of zinc oxide. Okay, so this is one of the figure from one of the paper, and this is the figure in another paper. Okay, this part, because you can see this is also nanorods, this is also nanorods. Okay, okay, but here this one is made, since it's a 2D diagram. Okay, so for 2D thing, no need to use the Blender, just use your PowerPoint. Okay, PowerPoint give you a very basic figure. So you can see that, you can see the quality of image in both the softwares. This is done in the PowerPoint. Okay, PowerPoint, and this is all other are done in the Blender. Okay, so PowerPoint and Blender, so you can see the quality of image. Okay, so this plasma should be a 3D sphere, but it doesn't look like a 3D because I've only shown the 2 dimension. Okay, so this is one of the two figures which I have used in my papers, and this is a figure in my another paper. You can see this is a process steps which I have used in the Blender software in my research. So for the Blender, what you have to do, I made this in the Blender, I made this in Blender, I made this in Blender. Just I have changed the color of the top because there are certain process happening. Okay, and then I have taken this sample inside this one. Okay, and then these things are happening inside the beaker, and after that these are the final structure which is again drawn in the Blender. But now these two images, you can see these are made in the PowerPoint. So like just the front view. So it doesn't look like a very good image. Okay, but just to save my time and save some effort, so I just use my PowerPoint to show the process which is happening while we are heating our sample inside the furnace. Okay, so these is the process steps for creating the 3D microflower. Okay, so indium oxide 3D microflower. Okay, so this way also you can create 3D designs. And now these are some of the other objects which I recently made in Blender software. Okay, so this is another rod with some nanoparticles, and this is a thing which is present inside a gas sensor. And these are like flowers on top of a substrate, and this is a furnace, this is a watch. Okay, because I'm working on the wearable device, and this is a cube, sorry, a sphere, and then nanoparticles are on top of the sphere, and these are some molecule. Okay, and this is another when you have when all the molecule, when all the spheres you can also combine. This is a chamber, gas sensing chamber, and this is another device. Okay, now in the center you can see one object is rotating. Okay, so this flower is also made in Blender software. Okay, and the good thing about the Blender software, as I mentioned earlier in my presentation, you can export your uh, 3D object to anything. Like you can import this 3D object in the PowerPoint also. So I think in the PowerPoint, everyone knows that. So this is go to insert. Then you have 3D models here. Okay, you have 3D models here. So just you need to click on the 3D models, and these are some of the 3D models which are available online. Okay, which are free to use. Okay, okay, so let's take one of the object. Okay, so now, okay, flower. Okay, okay, just these are these can also be drawn in the Blender. I just want to show you this feature, particular feature. So you can see this is a 3D object, but it looks like a 2D object. Now if we rotate this object, you can see all the dimensions of this particular object. Okay, you can see the back side, you can see the top side, you can see the bottom side, you can see the left, right. Okay, all the views you can see for the 3D object. Similarly for this case also, this flower. Okay, so this flower also, since I imported this flower in the 3D form, so it can be rotated, it can be placed, it can be used as it is, whatever you made in the Blender. But all these other figures are not 3D imported, these are all 2D import because I just want to make a figure. Okay, so this thing and this thing have different formats. Okay, this is saved in just the JPG format, and you all know like JPG format can only be downloaded in the 2D form, not the 3D form. Okay, you can see the 3D form, but it cannot be rotated. If I want to make this particular rotation, then I have to export in the 3D format, not the image format. Okay, so this is the difference between exporting your file in 3D format or just an image. Okay, and for the animation, you don't need to do anything. Uh, just swing. That's it. Okay, so this is how I uh, made this image to swing in my particular presentation. Okay, now today I'm going, because these things will take a lot of time, so today I'm only going to teach you how to make this particular image. Okay, so today I'm going to show how to make this particular because this is a very basic thing, and I'm going to introduce with the software also, and also how to make this particular image. Okay, so I hope everyone has downloaded the software. Now I'm going to switch over to the Blender software. So if anyone has any questions or anything, okay, before starting the Blender software, can ask the question now. I'm open to questions. After that, we will take uh, you to the Blender software. If no questions, we can proceed further. Okay, so I believe there are no questions. Again, if you have questions, you can ask after I end the presentation. Now, for those who haven't downloaded the Blender software, again, this is a, you don't need to write lots of things, just write the Blender download, go to this particular link, and then click on download Blender. That's it. You don't need to do anything, okay? After you download this software, this is what is going to open once you open the software. Okay. And now, this is what, okay, any questions? Okay. So this is what you are going to see when you open the Blender software. Okay. Uh, this is what we call a splash screen. Okay. Whenever you open the Blender, okay, I close the Blender and then I open again.
Sir, screen is not visible.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Yes,
So,
sir, we can all see now.
okay. Thank you so much. So for those who haven't downloaded the Blender software, you are advised to download it from here. It is free of cost and it won't require lots of space. Only 344 MB. That's it. Okay, so 344 MB is nothing. Okay, so it can run in almost all the system. Okay, but the problem is like if you start creating lots of heavy graphics, lots of big animation, then it will require lots of your computer memory. Okay, so it all depends upon your choice of work. Now, once you open this particular software, okay, this is what you are going to see. Okay, so this first square box is your splash screen. So whenever you open anything, you just ask you to choose between these few things. Okay, and in the right side there are the things which I recently used, and the format which it will save is .blend, blend, because the name is Blender. Okay, so the format it will save is .blend, and these are certain things which you can do from the Blender. So for today's, we are only going to use the general. Okay, general. So now this is your complete software window, which occupies your full screen in your PC or your laptop. Now this is the very basic thing which you will see in the Blender software. So first thing you can see, as I mentioned in my presentation, this object. Okay, this object, this is a 3D object which we called a cube. Okay, and then we call this space as 3D viewport. Okay, like this, you can see some axis also. So the green one is your y-axis. Okay, the red one is your x-axis, and you can see there is minus x. So minus x means this object is placed at the center of all the axes. Okay, always remember whenever you start the origin. Okay, so the central point is 0 0 0. The x-axis, y-axis and z-axis are all 0. Okay, now we are considering all the axes. Okay, so this thing is your 3D viewport because is the object is in 3D. Okay, now on the top left, okay, these things, so these are all your standard menus like file, where you can save, you can export, you can import. Okay, you can quit, you can open, like just like normal software. And this is edit, render window. With render, like whatever you create, just you have to, the final thing what you have to do is you have to click on this render image. So whatever it is shown in the image will be presented here, and after this just need to save. I will take you to all this. Okay, so on the top left these are all your standard menus, and on the left side these are your uh, tools. Okay, so these are all your tools which are required for the 3D construction. Okay, okay, now on the right side you can see you have the uh, object outliner. You can see if the orange color, you can see the edges of the color is orange color. That means the cube is selected. Okay, like if I click outside this cube, the cube is not selected. So the selection is from the uh, whatever object you will select, this thing will appear in your object outliner. Okay, and there are two more things. The camera, you can see this is one is your camera. Okay, and the third thing is your light. Okay, so in my presentation you can see why we need the light. Let me show you why we need the light. So in this image I think you can see there is some shadow. Okay, in almost all the object. Okay, so from where the shadow comes, so whenever there the light falls on certain object in at some particular angle, the it will form a shadow. Okay, so very very basic understanding. Okay, so we require a light. Okay, if you don't put the light then the image will appear dark. Okay, not that much dark, but still we require a light. Okay, so if you select, this is your light and this is your camera and this is your object. Okay, which says cube. Okay, if you select a sphere then it will say a sphere. Okay, so these three things are by default selected and presented in the origin software. Okay, now sorry, blender software. If you, and now you can see at the center you can see one point. Okay, this shows that this is called a 3D cursor, and it shows that your object is placed at this particular position. Okay, and you can move this 3D cursor to this point at, like wherever you keep this 3D cursor, and whenever you add an object. Okay, then it will be at the center of this 3D cursor. Okay, so the object center will become the 3D cursor. Okay, for now we are not like I will show you the detail in the later minutes. Now, this is your object outliner. This part is your object outliner. Okay, so all the objects which are there in your 3D viewport will be listed here. Okay, for now, first thing is camera, second thing is your light, and third is your object. So all the things will be visible, and you can see a eye. Like if you don't want to show here, then you can just keep it hidden for some time, and you can do the other things. Okay, so it will be useful like when you are when there is another thing inside the cube. Then in that case, what you can do is just hide this outside cube, and then you can work on some other structure. Okay, so there are lots of things which you can explore. Now this particular thing is called properties panel. Okay, properties panel. Just I hope everyone is writing whatever I'm saying, because otherwise it will be difficult for you to recall. Okay, so please make a note for all the small things. Okay, and now this panel is your properties panel. Okay, so these are all by default things. I didn't do anything. Okay, the 3D cursor I only changed. Okay, so I will take back this 3D cursor. So you can see the 3D cursor is now back to its origin. Okay, now this is your properties panel which shows, and this is your object properties. So location is, you can see 0 meters. Y-axis also 0 meter, Z-axis also 0 meter. Okay, if I take this object in any other place, okay, like let me take it to the y-axis. Now you can say, now you can see the y-axis coordinates are moving. Okay, this is on the positive sides, and when we take it in the negative, so it will show you the negative number. Okay, okay, so this is how it works. And then the rotation, because since it's a 3D object, so all the features will be there. Okay, now since it is the origin, and then if you rotate this object in, now you can just see I am rotating it in y direction. Okay, so this object is rotating in y direction. So whatever command I am using, I will let you know very shortly. Just I am going to take you through the all the basic things which are there in the front panel when you open the software. Okay, and in the bottom part it is the animation. Okay, so like whenever you are going to create any 3D animation, okay, then you have to use these things. Okay, so now these are all the introduction about the viewports and all the objects and all the properties panel. Okay, so there are other things also which are present in the properties panel. Okay, now the very first thing which you have to do is, let me take you to the factory settings. Okay, so now it is now looks like new. So now the very first thing which you have to do is go to edit. Okay, so once you open the software for the first time, okay, go to edit, then go to preferences. Now you can see it is saying select with mouse button left or right. Okay, so please change it to right. Okay, this is like it will be useful, like I will tell let you know why I did this. So when you want to select the object, you can use the right click. Okay, and it will be useful when you have the mouse. Okay, like without a mouse, okay, it will be very difficult to make anything. Okay, so I request everyone to please have a mouse with you while when you are working with the blender, otherwise it will be very difficult for you to handle the software. Okay, so what I did is I just changed the by default settings from left to right. Okay, and then you can see space bar action from play tools to search. Okay, now we only did two things. We changed the select with mouse button from left to right, and we changed from space bar to search option. So whenever you click the space bar, it will show search option. Otherwise, this play is for the animation, and like for creating objects, you don't require the animation thing for now. For now, okay. So just very small changes in the software and save these preferences. Okay, so please take a note for all these few things before starting the actual 3D. So once you click on save preferences, here it's some message menu. So you can see preferences are saved. Now close this preferences. So now whenever I select my object or anything, I need to only use right click. Okay, right click, right click, right click. Okay, and for the left click, I already mentioned you the left click is only for the 3D cursor. You can see this is the left click and this is your right click. Left click, right click. So just make sure because now you know why I make this as right click, because you have only two things to deal with. First is the object and second is your this 3D cursor. We call this as 3D cursor. So this 3D cursor can be used by left click and the object can be selected by the right click. Okay, so these two things are very important. And when you press the space bar, these all the things like this is a shortcut menu. Okay, so please write in your notes that spacebar is for searching. Okay, right click is for selecting the object, and left click is for selecting the 3D cursor. Okay, so wherever you put your 3D cursor, you can add the object in that particular position. Okay, so two things are done. Okay, now okay, so whatever I mentioned, just please write in your notebook and also same time do whatever I say because I'm going very, very slowly. Now the next feature is okay, grab. Okay, grab. and the shortcut for this is G. Okay, just press the G. Okay, now you can see when I press the G, the orange color changed to white color. Okay, that means the some particular feature is now opened. So graph feature is opened. Now you can see the cursor design also changed. Now what does grab do? You can see it takes the object from one place to another place, okay, in any direction. Now this object is free to move in any direction, okay, but sometimes you have to shift in particular direction. In that case, what you have to do, just like I mentioned you, this green line is your y-axis, this red line is your x-axis. Now if you want to grab this object and take to the x-axis, okay, in the red line, then what you have to do, press G and X, okay, sorry, you have to select the object first and then G, X. Now you can see after pressing the X line appeared little brighter. Now what, you don't need to have to do anything, just you can see it is only moving in the X direction, okay, and no need to click any button, okay. Now very important thing, since you can see the cursor, okay, is a square cursor, that means it is in the flying mode, okay. Now if you want to fix this to maybe somewhere here, then what you have to do, press the left button, left click of your mouse, then it will be fixed here, okay. Okay, so again, click on G and then Y, okay, now it is moving, okay. At this particular position, if you click on if you click the right click, okay, right click of your mouse, then what happens, now see it takes back you to the original position, okay. Because sometimes like what we do is like uh, we just want to take back, we just want to check how it looks like in other direction, then just click on this and then we move it like this and then click on right click, it takes back the original position. But when you do the left click, okay, it takes you to the next position or the new position, okay, like see left click or right click, so these two clicks are very important, okay. And of course control Z works the same way in all the software, like reversing the previous thing. So now I told you about the object, the grab mode, okay. And if you click on these particular things, okay, now let's see what happens. If I click on this positive x-axis, that means you can only see in the x direction, okay. That means you are able to see from the x direction. If you see from the x direction, then obviously you will only see the y and z axis. You can see, you can only see the green line and the blue line, okay. Now if you click on the z, so you can see from the top, okay, from the top. So from the top you can only see the x-axis and the y-axis, okay. So very basic. And like if you want to move the object, or if you want to move the 3D viewport, just click on the middle button of your mouse, like, okay. So middle button, if you click, then you can rotate your 3D viewport in any direction. Like if I am, while I am doing this, you can see these things are also rotating, okay. I think you can see this is done by the middle button of your mouse, okay. This is done by the middle button, okay. Now there are three buttons in the mouse: left click, right click, and the middle click, okay. Like the scroll button. Now there's another feature of your mouse, like your middle button can scroll also, okay. Like if you do that, now you can see zoom it, zoom in, zoom out, okay. So with mouse you can do four things: right click, selecting the object; left click, uh, positioning your 3D cursor; middle click, rotating your 3D viewport; and scroll button, zoom in, zoom out, okay. So four things you can do from your mouse, okay. Very very important thing, very very important, okay. So the next feature is your scale. Like I told you what is scale. You can see on the properties menu, the by default numbers are 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter, okay. So if you want to change the size in any direction or overall, then what you have to do, either you can change from here, okay, change from here, like because I'm only moving in the x direction, so only in the x direction the object will be scaled. If I do want to do in the y direction, then you can see it can be done in the only the y direction, okay, and in the z direction. So still back to the original. Okay, so this is another way how you can scale your object. There is one more way, the shortcut. Click on S. Okay, scale means S, grab means G. Okay, so click on S. Again, if you just click on S, you can change. See, it is changed into the white color, and you can see the arrow also in the different color. Now, just without clicking anything, you can see it is scaling in all the direction at the same instant. Like on the properties panel also, you can see all the values are changing at the same time. Okay, at the same speed because I didn't use the particular axis. Now, if I do the right click now, what happened? It goes back to the original position. Okay, again I click on the S. Okay, if I do the left click, it will be the new position or new size. Okay, so S means size, S means scales. Now you can see all the three dimensions are changed. Okay, now if I do the same thing in a particular direction, just what we did for the grab object, S, X. Now you can see X lines appears. So it will only be moved in the X direction. Okay, so without clicking on anything, if you now do the just the right click, it will take back you to the original position. Now if you do the left click, it will be your new size. Okay, so this is your scale, and that will be your grab. Now the third thing, like from this menu, so we did the location like by doing the grab, we did the scaling by using S. Now for the rotation, like if you want to rotate the object, very simple again. For the rotation, the shortcut key is R. Okay, now you can rotate in almost. Now this is very free. If you do the right click, it will take you to the original position. Now, if you want to rotate in the Y direction, R Y. Okay, so now you can see it is only rotating in Y direction. So now, if you do only the left click, so it will be your new rotation. Okay, and the value also changed. You can see we only did in the Y direction, so it is now rotated 413 degrees. Okay, so this is another thing. uh, your so we did all the basic things like you can locate, you can grab the object and you can take the object to any position, you can rotate the object in almost any direction, you can scale the object in any direction. Okay, so from my PowerPoint you can see now the base thing is very easy to make. I think by this you get to know how to make this thing. You don't need to do anything, just scale the object. Okay, like this. Okay, very thin, and make the rotation to 0. Okay, okay, now this is your 0, and now go back to your, this is your first thing. So this is what you are going to look from the top. Okay, from the top, but we don't want to make our image like this, so we want a rectangle. Okay, for this what you have to do, scale in Y direction, S Y. Okay, so now it will be your substrate. Now left click and then confirm the new position. Now you can see it is a very thick. So what you have to do, just scale in Z dimension, S Z. Okay, okay, so now you can see we are able to make a rectangle. Okay, cuboid. Okay, so which looks like a substrate. Okay, and now, so this is a very basic thing which we did. And okay, and this camera means like just imagine you have a DSLR or mobile camera. What you do, you just place your DSLR in front of an object. So whatever image which is there in front of the camera lens, that particular image will be captured, that particular area will be captured. Okay, so to know about which area is getting captured by this particular camera, just go to this button. You can see toggle the camera view, or like if, or you can press the number pad 0. Okay, just click on this. You can see this yellow thing, this means this is your area which is going to be captured. Okay, now with this image, okay, just remember this image. Now if you go back to the render and click on render image, now I will show you what. Now you can see whatever is there in front of the camera, you will only get that particular image, and this particular image will be saved. Okay, so this is the beauty of using this particular camera. Now what you have to do, you have two options. Either you scale down this cube, or increase the size of this particular camera. Of course, okay, if you increase the size of this particular camera, or you zoom in, zoom out, okay, then this this cube will be placed in between the area of this camera. Okay, so when you have a complex object, it's very difficult to scale down. Okay, in that case, what you have to do, just move the camera away from this object. Okay, so the when you are moving away from the object, you will get lots of area to cover. Okay, so in this case, what you have to do, again, two things. Either you can move the object. Okay, sorry, now we are not dealing with the object, now we are dealing only with the camera. So select the camera, you can see this is the boundary line. Select the camera by the right click. Now you can see the camera is selected. Okay, now what you have to do, just click on, okay, so do with me. Now first click on shift. Okay, shift, and then click on G, because I told you what is G. G means grab. So we are grabbing the camera and we are taking it backwards. Okay, so G means grab. You can see the it now changed to white light. Okay, so white border. Now you can see the only the camera is moving. Object is now at its own position and camera is moving wherever I'm taking. Okay, now click on the center of your mouse. Okay, now see, if you click on the center mouse, the camera is going away from the object. Okay, now you can see this is camera going inside your object, this is camera going away from the object. Okay, now if you want to confirm the position, I told you, if you want to confirm the position, click on left click, and if you want to go back to the previous position, just click on the right click. So if you are satisfied with this particular image and box, then just click on left click. That's it. Now you can see your object appears inside the camera region, inside this box. Now if you go to the render image, okay, so what do you mean by render? Like whatever you made in the 3D viewport, this image will be rendered. Okay, this image will be processed, and then click on render image. Okay, now you can see this is your area which you will be saving. Okay, this is your area which you will be saving. Okay, so this has all the information. Okay, so the substrate is done. Okay, I told you. Now, okay, now let's delete this, not delete, just hide this substrate, because we may need it for future. Okay, so if you see this image, okay, substrate is there, and these flowers are on top of the substrate. Okay, so and also you can see all the flowers are of same size. Okay, and same structure, no change. So what you have to do, just go by a logical way, create one flower and then duplicate it. Okay, that's it. So go back to the origin, and you can see the cursor is somewhere away from the origin. So to take this 3D cursor back to the origin, click Shift S. Okay, Shift S. Okay, when you click Shift S, okay, this is the cursor menu. Okay, you can see selection to cursor, selection to active. So all these are cursor menu. So what you want your cursor to be, the world origin. So just click on this. Now your cursor is here. Okay, so now you want to introduce new object. Okay, because you can see this looks like a sphere. Okay, so what you have to do, and then on top of the sphere there are certain sheets are present. Okay, so first we will draw a sheet, and again you can now remove your camera, so you don't need to do anything. Uh, just click anywhere on the screen away from the camera. This is your camera. Now you can see the camera is placed away from the center. Okay, previously the camera was somewhere there. Now go back to your origin, Now, if you want to add new object to your origin, the shortcut key is Shift A. Okay, Shift A. So Shift A means add menu. Okay, so you can see there are lots of things which you can add in your 3D viewport. So we are going to add mesh and plane. Okay, plane. So you can see it's a two-dimensional object. If you see from the one axis, it is one-dimensional. If you change, then it's your two-dimensional. Okay, this is your sheet. Now we are all under the object mode. You can see it's written as object. But if you want to change anything, the structure, the design, okay, then you have to go back to the edit mode. Okay, edit mode. So the shortcut for doing the edit mode is tab. Just click on tab, F tab. Then you can change, like just focus here. When I click on tab, it changed from object to edit. After doing the edit mode, you can see lots of option appears. Okay, you can check, see, and the structure also changed from different thing. Okay, now if you see this image, just if you see this square, there are four vertices. Okay, you can see there are, this is the select mode, vertex mode, and this is your select mode. Okay, and this is your face mode. Okay, so just see the difference. When I click on this face mode, okay, this is when you click outside. When you just click on the face mode, the face will be selected. Okay, now go to this edge select. Edge select means edges. Now if you see, if I click just here, the edges are only, this edge will be selected. Okay, you can just see the difference. I think since the thickness is very small, so very difficult to. Okay, if I click on here, this edge will be selected, this edge you can see. And if I click on this vertex, then only the corner part, this corner part will be selected, only this vertex. Okay, so for creating the image, okay, the flower type of structure, just go back to the. Okay, by the way, if you want to select all these menus, you have to use the left click. Okay, so right click is only for the selecting the object, not for this thing. Okay, so this will only work for the with the left click. So go back to the face mode, click on this face. Now you have to divide this surface, because you can see this is a single surface. Now if you want to divide this surface, uh, click on. So this is your search menu. Click on Shift A. Okay, so this is for your to if you want to add the new object. Okay, on top of this particular object. And this is your when you want to move your cursor. Shift S when you want to move your cursor to different places. Okay, and before doing that thing, I want to show you one more thing. These are your shading mode. Like if you click on this one, then this will show you the X-ray mode. Okay, so this will show you, maybe in this you it's very difficult to check. Maybe let's take cylinder. Okay, just a basic cylinder. If you don't do this and go to object mode, then you can see the cylinder is like this. Okay, and then when you click on this, you can and go to the. Okay, then you can see inside also. So sometimes what you have to do, you have to deal from inside. Okay, then you have to click on this wireframe mode. So these are different things. Okay, different objects which appears in your 3D viewport. Okay, so now just delete this thing. Okay, so for deleting, I think it's not very difficult. Just select that particular object. Okay, go to the object mode first. Otherwise, like if you do in the edit mode, then you can see if I it will only click the uh, faces. Okay, not the entire object. Okay, so for selecting the entire object, okay, you have to go back to the object mode. Okay, then click on this plane. Okay, so you can see it is just directly on top of this. Okay, so just click on delete, it will be deleted. So now let's go back to what we were doing. So this is your object, the plane, and then this is your in the object in the edit mode. Okay, so now there is another thing, duplicate. Okay, so since duplicate start with D, so just click on T, shift T, then you can see a duplicate object will be created. Okay, so and then if you click the right, it will take you back to the original position. Okay, so but we don't want this in our work. So now go back. Okay, so now go back to the edit mode, and if you want to divide the surface, the shortcut for this is W. Okay, just click on the face and click on W. So now you can see there are certain face context menu. Okay, so since we selected the face, so just click on subdivide. You can see this particular object is subdivided into 4 parts. Okay, again click on W. These 4 parts will now be subdivided into 8 parts. Again click on W. This 8 parts will be subdivided into 16 parts. Okay, like this it will be subdivided into many things. Now again subdivide. So now this is perfect for our work. Okay, now you can see one face is now subdivided into so many subfaces. Now if you can just click on, you can see there are lots of subfaces inside a particular uh, plane. Okay, now go back to the object mode. Okay, now on the right side, okay, there are thing called add modifier. So if you want to make this object little rough, little shiny, or whatever you want to do, you just go to the add modifier. Okay, and first thing what you have to do for this particular image is you have to displace, because since there are lots of options. Okay, so if you are unable to find the thing, you can just search in your software. Okay, so displace. Okay, so this display feature will displace my object from, you can see it is displaced. Okay, just the basic English, they didn't use complicated words or anything. Okay, now once you do this, there is another thing called texture. Okay, material properties, and this is object data properties, and this is your, okay, now so on the bottom you can see texture properties, and click on new, because you are doing the new step for this particular object. Click on new. Now you can see the change what is going to happen. Click on the clouds. Okay, there are lots of options, just click on clouds. You can see the object changed to this thing, but we don't want the structure to be like this, so we just change the size to maybe, like you can see, we are just we are just making this object little thin. Okay, you can see you can just see the difference what I am doing. Okay, now if we just increase the size, okay, now I think this will be perfect. So you can see it appears like a random paper. Okay, which is like just like a chips, you can say. Okay, but now if you zoom in, you can still see the faces. Okay, you can still see the faces. So for to remove this, what you have to do is just click on W again. Okay, so just click on shades. Okay, now this object will becomes way smoother than our previous thing. So this was our previous image, and this after shading. Okay, now just next step is just take away this object away from the center. So for that, what you have to do, you have to grab the object and take it away from the center. Maybe you can see I'm taking away from the center. Okay, now we have to create a sphere, and then in the sphere we have to make this thing so that it appears like this. For this, what you have to do, click Shift A to add a new object. Okay, Shift A to add a new object, UV sphere. Okay, scale down. For scaling down, what you have to do, just click S, okay, and make it very small. Okay, very small as compared to your paper. Okay, maybe a little more. Okay, to confirm the new size, you have to click the left click. Okay, just remember. Now you can see have a sphere. Now after doing this, there is another property called particle properties. Okay, just see what will happen when I click on particle properties. Click on plus, that means you are adding the particle properties in this particular sphere. You can see sphere is selected. Okay, now go to here. Okay, so you can see lots of particles in the form of hairs are added into the this particular sphere. You can see. Okay, so let's zoom out so that you can see everything. Now, what you have to do in this case, you have to incorporate this paper into this hairs. Okay, so what you have to do, go back, select the sphere, click on the hair, and then go to your render. Okay, and now what you have to do, you have to render the object, this particular, this is your object. Okay, so go back to your render, click on object, since you want to render the object into this sphere. So click on the object, and which object you want to incorporate in your sphere is your, this you can see, this is eyedropper. So I think everyone knows what is the property of eyedropper. So just take this eyedropper and click on this plane. Okay, now I think if you zoom in, you can see this all plane is incorporated in your sphere. But you can see there are lots of planes. So the number also, you can see 1000 planes are there. So you can reduce this number like to whatever you feel comfortable. Okay, so maybe this also looks nice. Okay, this also looks a little better. Okay, so I think this also looks a sphere also. Okay, so I think much better. And if you want to change the uh, maybe you can see all the papers are aligned in one direction. Okay, if you want to change the direction, just click on advanced. Okay, and then click on your uh, maybe, yeah. Okay, so after click on advance, okay, so you can see what is happening inside it. Okay, so these are all okay. Now there is rotation. You can see once you click the rotation, then all the plane will be rotated. Okay, just see the difference. So this should be little higher. Now you can see, and this is randomized. You can see all the planes are rotating in random direction. Okay, okay, and this is your phase. So for one phase, the rotation can be like this. Even now this looks perfect. Okay, for our case. Now since now you can bring your cube, the substrate, and you can bring this little higher. So what you have to do, grab it and then take it on the surface. Okay, now this looks a little smaller as compared to the substrate. Okay, so now you have to increase the size. So for increasing, there are two ways. Okay, either you can scale it from here, or of course, by clicking on S you can also scale. Okay, so I am doing it from here. Okay, maybe a little smaller. Okay, so you can see it is still going uh, little below the substrate. So again G and then Z. Now it is like this. Okay, you can see it is showing a very beautiful image. Now you have to duplicate this sphere. You don't need to do anything, just click shift D. Shift D, duplicate. And if you want, like you can see, it is now freely available. But we want to move in a specific direction. So what you have to do, shift D and then click on Y, just Y. So it will only move in the Y direction. Okay. So now you can see we have the two images. Okay, two flowers on our substrate. And if you click on the camera, you can see these. This is how it will appear when you save the image. And you can see the color is very grayish color. Now what you have to do, just you need to change the color for everything. Changing color is very easy. Just select that particular object, and now you can see you cannot change the, because since this, you have to change the color for this thing, not this thing. Okay, so if you change the color for this, these both will be changed. Okay, just click on this plane. You see material properties, click on new. So lots of options will appear, like you can see like IOR, transmission, emission, alpha, normal. These are all color options, because color, metallic structures, specular, subsurface, these are all options. Okay, now just change the color whatever you want. But no, but you cannot see the change because you are in this mode, viewport shading. If you want to see the color change, go back to this option. Okay, so now you can see the effect of light. Okay, my light is here, so of course the shadow will be here. Okay, if I select this light, you can see the shadow is going away from the object. Okay, so it's all up to you how you want your light to be projected. You can do from top also, like this. Okay, from sides. Okay, it all depends upon your work, how you want. Okay, and this is your power. You can reduce the power also. Like currently it is selected 1000 watt. You can maybe reduce it to, it all depends upon you, 100 watt. Okay, so it becomes little darker, so 500 watt. So okay, not bad. Now we want to change the color of the substrate. Let's take it red color. Okay, now now this is maybe, let's take one more object and take it to Y, duplicate. Okay. And then, so we have three objects. Okay, okay, so now it looks like, now once you're done with this, just click on the camera, so this thing will be there. Okay, when you save the image. Okay, now click on the render. Now this will be your image, which will is going to be saved. Okay, but now you see the problem, the background is gray color. Okay, but in my case the background is white color. You can see, uh, not white, actually it's transparent. Okay, so very small change you have to do in your system. Now if you want your image to be there in the transparent mode, so just go to the properties, render properties. Okay, because you see render and render, so render properties, go to bottom. This is very important actually, for all the image you have to do this. Go to film. Okay, so I click on the render, go to film, and then click on transparent. That's it, done. Now if you go back to the render image, so this will be your image. You can see now it's now become a transparent. Okay, that's it. Go back to your save, save as. So this, since it is an image, so just give it some name. So maybe any, just uh, save image. Okay, Now your image, this complete area is saved now, this complete area. Okay, you can reduce the area also by just taking the camera, clicking on G, shift, and then middle mouse, you can see. So it all up to you what you want to show in your, like you can show like this also. So it all depends upon you. Now go to your PowerPoint or any video because now it is saved in your image form. Insert pictures. Okay, so your uh, pictures, sorry, documents. Okay, so test. Okay, so wherever it just you need to know where I will say. Now you can see it's all transparent background. Now, but since I have used 500 watt of light. Okay, so it looks little darker. And here I have used 1000 watt of light, so it appears brighter. So very basic phenomena. Okay, like this. Okay, so this is your image. Okay, you cannot do anything because it's a 2D image. Okay, it looks like a 3D, but the image file is 2D. Okay, now this is how. If it now final step is if you want to save this, you can see you can give some name and dot blend and save the blender file. Okay, that's it. This is now. Let's make a very quick some another object. Okay, so if you want to select on one object, click on shift. If you want to select two objects, click shift and then select. Now two objects are selected and currently you are in this particular object. If you want to select this object also, click on. So now three objects are selected by using the shift key. Okay, if you want to select all the objects, click on A. We will all the objects are selected from this. You can see all the objects. Okay, and if you want to select these three, you can do like this also. Okay, these four objects are selected. Okay, so this is how you can select some objects. Okay, now let's delete everything. Okay, I deleted the light also. Okay, shift, shift, delete. There is one sphere, delete. Okay, let's make a very simple cup. Okay, let's, so shift A, mesh for a cup in the cylinder. Okay, now you can see it is just a cylinder. So in a cup, what actually is there? There is a hollow thing inside a cylinder. Okay, so whenever you add some object, this thing appears, the object property. Okay, let's do again. Shift A, and we are going to finish in maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, after that we will have questions. So just click on the cylinder, and then once you add a new object, okay, this is only valid for a new object. Okay, not for the by default object. So click, if you click this, you can change the properties of the cylinder. Like vertices, it has 32. You can change the vertices to like this. You can see. So if you have three vertices, that means it's a triangle. If you have four, if you have six, then it's a hexagon. I think this is very basic. And this is the radius. You can change the radius. You can increase the height. Okay, you can do everything. Okay, so whenever you add new object, all these properties appears. Okay, for now we have to. Okay, so click on cylinder. So and it will, when you add, when you are doing this again, it will take you to the previous property. Okay, so I think it was 32. Okay, and it was maybe little bigger. Okay, for a cup, and I think make it two. Okay, now okay. So we have to remove this face. Okay, now go back to tab. Okay, now face is selected. Just click on the top face. Okay, okay. Now one option is there, intrude. Intrude means this will then go inside. For intruding, the shortcut is I. Okay, just click on I. Now see the difference. What happening? Okay, you can see the difference if I click on intrude. Okay, when you do the left click, the new position is confirmed. Okay, this is your intrude. Now extrude. Extrude means you are taking the face away from the center. You click on E. Okay, for extruding it's E. For intruding, intrude means going inside, extruding means going outside, X. Okay, so E extrude, and intrude means going inside. So click on E. Now it will go only inside or outside. You can see it is only going inside, outside. This is outside and this is going inside. Now to make a cup, you can see. Now you can see a red line appears. That means your extrusion gone away from the below the axis. So you have to make it little higher. Now you can go to this particular axis. Now you can go to this wireframe and click on this. Now you can take this extrusion little downwards. Okay, little down. So this is your new position. So this is how it looks like. So in the wireframe, you can actually see in the inside also. Okay. Now again, in the edit mode, click on Control R. Okay, Control R means you are now subdividing your edges, and then now scroll. Now you can just see the difference when you scroll. The subdividing surface is getting bigger and bigger. Okay, and then left click to confirm, and again left click to confirm. Okay, now you can see there are lots of surfaces. Previously we had only one surface. Okay, now we have these many surfaces. Okay, these many faces. So for a cup, what is the thing? We need a structure which goes from this place to this place, the handle. Okay, so what you have to do here, shift and then select these two faces and then click on intrude. Okay, click on I and then go take it little inside. Okay, little inside and then left click to confirm and now extrude. It will go away. Click on extrude. Now you can see it is going little away. So now you can feel something like something is going to, like the handle is going to prepare. Now left click to confirm. Now you can see now we have the base for the handle. Okay, like you can see we have the base for a handle. Now sometimes your handle is not like a perfect square, like it won't be like this, like this, like this. So it should be a round handle. Okay, so for this what you have to do, you can see a yellow dot. You can see this orange dot here and here also if you click this. Okay, so this is your object center. Okay, so what you have to do in this, you have to decrease the size of this particular edge. Okay, so click on the edge, select this one, this particular edge, and then shift and then this particular edge. Okay, now click on the normal. Okay, now this will be in the normal direction. Okay, and then now you can, if you just move it, you can see it's moving in this particular direction. So just take it in one particular direction, that is Y. So now it is fixed in, so okay, now just you can, okay, so now it's like this. So now you can see that the structure is like this. Go back to the global mode, select the faces, this face and this face. Okay, now what you have to do is, oh, so I think if you click on R, so this thing will start rotating. Okay, so but we need to connect this. So what you, for this we have to, I think some problem with my software. Let me fix this. Wait a second. Okay, now I think it's okay now. Yeah, okay now. So just select this. Now you have to connect these two faces just to make a okay handle. So what you have to do in this case, just click on these two faces and then Control E. Okay, now you can see bridge edge loops. Okay, bridge that we have to make the bridge. Okay, so now you can see these two loops are now bridged together, and then you have to increase the number of cuts. Okay, so now you can see it appears like a. Now go back to the object mode. Now you can see the faces also for this. Okay, so nothing, just select this object, click on W, and then shape smooth. Okay, now it appears like a cup. Okay, so that's it. Now go back to camera. Now you can see that it looks the handle is not visible. So what you have to do? Either rotate the object. So okay, so first rotate the object R Z. Okay, if you do the RZ, that you can see the object is rotating. Otherwise, rotating the camera and then it will take you a lot of time. Okay, now this looks little smaller. So click on the camera, Shift G, middle button, and then that's it. Okay, so if you now do the render image, you can see that the gray background is also available. Now let me save this image without making the transparent background. I just want to show you the difference. Okay, now this is the difference. You can see the gray background is also visible, but you don't want this gray background. So what you have to do, go back to the software, go to this thing, render properties, go to click the transparent. Okay, now this image will be saved as a transparent image. Save image, save, and then insert. Okay, now I think you can clearly see the difference between two images. Okay, so I think that's it. Uh, Now I think these are a few basic things and few basic shortcuts which I want to tell you. Other things, I think there are actually lots of things. I only told you a few things. Okay, maybe in our next session, we will tell you the more advanced feature and more objects and how to do the more advanced objects. Okay, and then I think that's it from my side. Okay, so thank you for your attention. And now may your research be as clear and creative as your visualization. So that's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. So if you have any
Uh,
suggestions or anything, I'm free to take that.
yes, so now the floor is all yours. The participants can ask question from sir. Guys, anyone? Sir, somebody dropped a question on chat.
So this question is from my Rishi. So once I import a CSV file into Blender, so what is the use of? Okay, so yes, okay, so I think you know what is a CSV file. CSV file means from the data which is coming from the Excel. Okay, so the data may have x-axis, y-axis. Okay, so whenever you import a CSV file in the scripting menu of the Blender, so you can visualize your data in 3D. Okay, so yes, your I think uh, this is your answer. So you can visualize your data in a 3D model, and you can do the animation also. Like if you want to show the changes from some axis to other axis. Any other question?
If you don't want to type, you can ask over mic as well. You can ask him directly.
So can we show protein structural changes in Blender? So structural changes, you can draw the protein, okay, and then with the animation you can do the structural changes also. You can create a video, okay, by doing the animation you can create the video also. So for that you have to draw the protein structure. Okay, so protein structure, drawing protein structure will take some time, but once you draw a structure, and after that it will be easy for you to check the structural changes by doing the animation. So I think for the animation, very simple thing, you have to just show the movement from one place to another.
Hello.
Hello,
Good
yes,
evening, sir.
good evening.
Sir, I really want to thank you for this amazing session. I
Uh,
really learned a lot. So, really,
yes,
thank you.
you're welcome, you're welcome. Thank you for your uh, beautiful words.
Thank you,
Uh,
sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, my sir.
Thank you so much, sir. I learned a lot from this session. And actually, I am also learning so many things regarding the image analysis, 3D image, and all related to it. This is very helpful in my research area through the graphical abstract and related to the nanoparticle structure related to the area and all nanorods and all. I am very impressive. And thank you so much for sir delivering this lecture.
Uh, Thank you so much, my sir, for your kind words.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for this wonderful demonstration. I learned a lot from this.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nathan. It was indeed good words, encouraging words for me. And yeah, one more thing which I want to say, like I just told you the very basic thing. I think I hope you get to know there are actually lots of and lots of things. Maybe I have just showed you the maybe 2 to 3% only. Okay, now you can imagine just the 2 to 3%. There are actually more than 98% still remaining. So it's all up to you. Okay, once you have the mouse and the software in your hand and your creative visualization, then I think you can draw whatever you want. And as I mentioned you, there are lots of YouTube channels, there are lots of platforms where you can check the desired thing which you want from the Blender. Okay, so there are lots of tutorials. So one more. Okay, so from Suchita, yes, I will share you the shortcut keys and the very basic shortcut keys. I will share whatever we discussed today because I believe these shortcut keys will be useful in drawing almost everything. Yeah, so I will share you the shortcut key in the group. And maybe once we meet in the next session, I hope everyone will be familiar with whatever we did today so that we can do the more advanced version of our next session. Any more questions?
So, yeah, I was about to ask that. Any more questions from your side? I think, sir, that is it.
Okay.
So, I would like to say a few words to the participants, first of all, that if you think that this is it for Dr. Rishi, and this is the only session that he has to offer, you're wrong. So let me tell you, this is just, and he, as he told us, that this is just the basic of Blender that he taught us. Also, Dr. Rishi holds a PhD in Material Science and Engineering from National Tsinghua University, Taiwan, where his research focused on developing ultra-sensitive, light-activated, and defect-rich nanomaterial for toxic gas detection He has qualified both GATE and NET in physical sciences and was awarded the prestigious postdoctoral fellowship by Taiwan National Science and Technology Council. As a postdoctoral researcher, he worked on multi-layered polymer-based ammonia sensor. So, with his abundance of knowledge, we would like to have him with us in near future. And I hope, sir, you are also ready to join us soon with lots of your knowledge that you have to offer.
Yes, yes, I'm open for any research discussion. Okay, I think I'm in the group also. You can take my number, and if you have anything related to the research or related to 3D imaging or the graphics or
Yes.
the research collaboration, I'm open for everything.
Yes, sir. Actually, this is the vast kind of knowledge that you have and you can share with us. We would like to have you again.
Okay,
And I would like to thank you for taking that the time. And as a token of gratitude, we would like to present a certificate from our side.
thank you, so, thank you
Sorry.
so much. Thank you so much. It was indeed an honor for me to share my knowledge with the. Oh, wow, great, great.
So this is the
Looks
certificate.
looks beautiful. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
Thank you so much. Okay, so it was an honor for me to share my because like the more you share, the more you learn. Okay, of course. Like if I share something with you, obviously you have learned something, and then you can share
Yes,
the
sir. Yes,
same
indeed.
knowledge with other people also. Okay, so
Yes.
just keep on sharing the research related information, whatever you have, and I think Saksha is a very good platform, and I wish Think Saksha all the best for all their future sessions. And
Yes, sir. We are actually honored to have you with us today.
my pleasure. It's all my pleasure. I hope to join some more sessions in near future. And all the best to you.
Anytime, sir. You're welcome anytime.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night and
Yeah,
see you.
and yes, sir. Good night. And now I would like to thank all of the participants for being part of today's session. I really hope that you have learned something new and developed some creative skills out of Blender. So if you will do any work, so you can tag us in, tag Things Action. We would like to see your work. You can tag Rishi sir as well. And also do not forget to fill that feedback form in order to get certificate. So thank you so much, everyone, and especially my team, Think Saksha, for making this event possible. Thank you, everyone. It has been a great session. Okay, good night, everyone.